Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stands. I'm joined by Ben Foster.
Hello mate, you okay?
Yeah, I'm very good. 3-1 result. You've got a Man United top on, not a Spurs fan today.
Not a Spurs fan today. I'm Man United for the clicks today, obviously. But you walked in this morning and you had the biggest smile on your face, and rightly so as well, because yesterday was as good as it gets pretty much.
Yeah, I think results-wise, it was absolutely fantastic. And, well, what did you think? You watched the game, what do you think?
Having watched the game and listened, I'm probably the same as you, probably the same as most Man United fans. I was listening to all the sort of analysis afterwards, and I actually really agreed with Paul Merson. I thought Arsenal were decent. Yeah. Man United were decent, don't get me wrong, Man United were decent. But I thought Arsenal panicked a little bit, and I think they know they're a good team now, but they got carried away. And Man United, fair play to them and fair play to Erik ten Hag. The substitutions he made, I think they kind of just went, all right, if they're going to do that, we'll hit them on the counter, and that's exactly what they did. They sort of played into their hands a little bit, really. Yeah,
I said it yesterday and I actually got quite a lot of retweets on it because people always take the mickey out of my tactics, but I do know what I'm on about. And I said that Ronaldo changed the game because with Rashford, I don't like Rashford through the middle, but what it does is it makes them centre-backs a little bit scared of the ball. They got 1-1. He brought Ronaldo on, and those centre-backs thought, we don't need to worry about the ball in behind. Yeah. Rashford drops to the left, angled run, straight in, 1-1. And then Eriksen, he's not Speedy Gonzalez, is he? Makes that run again. Bruno pops it in, that high line. And I just thought, Ten Hag has murdered Arteta there. And I'm a big fan of Arteta, but naive, I thought.
It's exactly what it was. It comes down to these tiny little decisions, right? And I think Ten Hag has shown what he's worth yesterday, because just sort of that, having that trust of going, no, just chill. And fair play to the defence as well, because when it went to 1-1, Arsenal had a period of about 15 or 20 minutes where I'm thinking,
yeah, they were very good, weren't they?
Yeah, they're very good. And I thought if they had scored, it would have been obviously a very different game. But Man United stuck to their guns, they stayed. And like I say, Arsenal just got carried away then. Boom, hit them on the counter-attack. It was beautiful to see, to be perfectly honest with you.
As well, I think as well, you know, you listen to what they were saying after the game, and Ten Hag was very relaxed and said, like, the fans will get carried away, but there's a lot of work to do. And he also said, you know, I have high standards and we can improve a lot. And then you've got Arteta, who looks like, you know, the guy who's been in a boxing ring, knocked out, still hasn't got his faculties back. And he's like, oh, I'm shocked. The game was there to be won. And you're like, you've just lost 3-1, mate. And they were all three. They were almost tap-ins. I know the third one was. Anthony's was very easy. And you look at the chance comparison, I thought Arsenal played the better football, but it's like Sir Alex. We were there. Yeah. It's like Sir Alex versus Arsenal of old, isn't it? Rolls in with his great style of football and you just do him.
It's the worst way to lose a game because, like you say, they played some lovely football at times, but to be that naive, to leave it that open, to score 3 goals, like Aaron Ramsdale's got no chance with any of them, yeah? No. He's just been left fully exposed. It was incredible. I've got to say, I was really happy to see Anthony starting as well, because I think, don't get me wrong, someone like Elanga, he's a good, decent player and he's done okay. He's still a young kid, he's got a lot to learn. But I think from Arsenal's point of view, when they see that team sheet and they see Anthony is starting, it makes them go, oh, and it makes them sort of almost go, oh, we've got to be a bit careful today. And it's like that sort of attack is the best form of defence almost, you know what I mean? They must have seen that and thought, yeah, we're going to have a busy game today. And I thought he did really well, to be fair. Like I say, first game, just to get off the mark is like, it's like a massive monkey off the back.
I think that's massive, isn't it? You spend, what, was it 100 million euros and you know what the media's like, and it's like, well, if he has a Pepe where he doesn't score for 4 or 5 games.
Ten Hag, you see how buzzing he was, because guaranteed, even he's thinking, I've just spent 100 million on this bloke. I need him to do all right. I need him to get off the ground running. As soon as he went in, he was jumping like crazy, as if to say, thank God, I think I'm right here. I think I'm right. Well, he knows what he's bought anyway.
Yeah, well, it kills that argument straight away, doesn't it? Where people go, oh, £100 million player, he's not scored in 10 games, and you score. I mean, it was an okay performance by Anthony. Yeah. And what I liked is Ten Hag, he does this. We're all learning about Ten Hag all the time. He's methodical. And you know he's gone, you're only playing an hour. Yeah. I don't care whether you're playing brilliant, you're coming off after an hour. Yeah. Off he came, and then he did that Ronaldo sub, which it was 1-0, maybe 1-1 at that point.
1-1, I think it was, yeah. I think not only me, but I think a lot of people as well are warming to Ten Hag the way. So when, obviously, all the Man United games are on telly, and all the time you've got the big guys there, you've got Roy Keane, you know what I mean? They're all standing there. And Ten Hag comes and he stands there in amongst them and he doesn't look out of place, does he?
No.
He's mixing it, and he looks like he belongs there.
It's the real deal, isn't it?
It's the real deal.
And I don't think they did, Ben. I thought that they all wanted Poch because they all know him.
Yeah.
I mean, bloody Roy Keane and Scholesy, God knows what they were drinking. They were like, we want Simeone. And I'm like, oh, you want a manager who comes to Old Trafford and is happy with 30% possession?
That'd be miserable football, that would.
It's like Arteta yesterday. I think he thought Eredivisie, whatever. And he's actually a really good coach, and he's completely at ease with these surroundings.
The real deal, mate. He does. I love what Roy Keane said afterwards as well, when he's mullering into Mikel Arteta and he's saying he's like a sore loser. This is the beauty of, like, honestly, I love watching these guys on telly. They're box office. Do you know what I mean? If it's not Roy Keane, it's Souness or whoever it is, and they're saying sort of controversial things, but there's always something behind it where you go, I can see what you mean a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Gary Neville comes and joins in, and it's like, this is brilliant. This is why I pay my Sky subscription, because I want to see this.
Well, I think every United fan felt like that yesterday, because it's like we've been so bad for so long, and all day yesterday I had a feeling I haven't had for a while. I was like, this just feels different. Yeah. And then all through the game, I tweeted it last night, I've never felt so confident, engaged and enthused about Man United. Yeah. And I don't feel ashamed saying that, because the players, you feed off the players, and the players and the team the trust is coming back. There seems to be more of a rapport, and we feel like we're more in touch with the players, which we haven't been. I mean, last season the away supporters singing "You're not fit to wear the shirt." Yeah, it's not that long ago, and then yesterday just felt like a big game between Man United and Arsenal as well for the first time.
My only worry at the minute is that I was the same as you. I thought going into the game yesterday, Man United are going to win this. I think you can just almost tell, can't you? You can just tell Man United are going to win this. I worry when United go away to Palace on Saturday. I worry when Man United are playing a lower team and there isn't that buzz, there isn't that excitement about it. That's the bit that worries me, because it's a lot easier to get up for these big games for some of these players, because they're big players. All the Man United players, the players that start on a Saturday afternoon, they're big players. And when it comes to it, they've obviously got like as much ability as most players have, and they can get up for these big games. I just worry that when they're playing the smaller teams, can they still capture that, and can they still recreate those top performances? And
I think Ten Hag's very aware of that as well, because I loved what he said after the game about the standards, and there's a lot of work to do, because we beat Liverpool and Arsenal, but they're both at Old Trafford, and you should beat them at Old Trafford because you've got 75,000 fans. They're going to get behind you if you perform well. It's going to be different. We've still got to go to Anfield, we've got to go Emirates, we've got to go Selhurst Park, and I think that I thought the Fred substitution was a bit odd for Casemiro stayed, but he put Fred more advanced. I thought Ronaldo really worked very well as well for the team. But then Maguire came on, bless him, and I was saying...
You put a tweet out saying how nervous you were.
Well, it was 3-1 and it's game over with 10 minutes to go, and he comes on, Jesus gets him in a one-on-one, skins him, he's booked. And I thought, you know what, it only takes one goal and we're up against it. So I think that's something as well. Like, United are a massive work in progress, and there is areas of the team where you go, well, it only takes one injury there, and they're in trouble.
I texted you before the game, didn't I, and said Casemiro has to start today. I said Casemiro has to start. Like, I love Scott McTominay, I do, and he's been fantastic, hasn't he? Even you, the biggest McTominay naysayer in the world, but for the last 3 or 4 games, he's been top class, absolutely top class. But it's Casemiro. Like, I think not only because he's a better player than Scott McTominay, but he's got this like aura almost, you know what I mean? And even every time he's come on as well, to be fair to him.
What's your thought on that though? Because I'll forget this. I said this yesterday, that Anthony has been on strike at Ajax. He's hardly trained, straight into a game like that. Martinez, straight into a game like that. Casemiro, he's got to learn my style. If that's De Jong, straight in. Does that mean he's not what Ten Hag wanted? I'm not going to say he didn't want him, but he's not the profile of player that he wanted, and he's a bit like, I trust McTominay more at the moment. What's that all about?
I honestly think it's the only reason he's playing McTominay is because they've been winning. And it's literally as simple as that. He doesn't want to... For Scott McTominay, if he gets taken out of the team now for Palace, it's the most disheartening thing. Yeah. And I think he's putting in performances week in, week out where it's hard to do. It is. It's really hard to do. And I've been in football clubs all along where you've got the better player on the bench, but the player that's doing it is actually doing really well. But it's kind of inevitable.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. But it's inevitable. All it takes is just a little bit of a bad performance. That's all he's waiting for, I promise you. He's waiting for a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of a 10, and then Casemiro's in. And then that's it. Once Casemiro's in, though, it's game over. He is holding that down.
It was so interesting yesterday because we were live when the team news came in, and the chat was toxic. Not in a bad way, because I know I respect, obviously, our audience, but it was like toxic in the way there was arguments.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a world where Casemiro's on the bench and McTominay's starting. Why is Rashford through the middle? And I was just, it was like I say, it cut different, because sometimes I might have sided with that. Certainly under Solskjaer I would, but I was like, Ten Hag's new. It's only 4 or 5 games in, and we're playing Arsenal. And I really don't care if Gary Neville's come out of retirement to play it right back.
Yeah.
You've got to get behind the team, and ultimately, it's at the end of the game you judge it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, Scott McTominay played well. Rashford got 2 goals and an assist, and I think that was the most important thing. And it's a bit like when you play Football Manager or FIFA, isn't it? You buy all these players in the summer and you think, I'm going to give the previous lads a go.
Yeah.
And then you're winning, you're like, you lot can sit on the bench for a bit now and I'll feed you in. And that's what Ten Hag's got, isn't it?
Amazingly, it's like this guy, this Ten Hag guy, it's like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, amazing.
Imagine that.
And that's, but you know, you'd probably agree. It's like that's. I think United fans have got every right to be critical of these players and distrusting of selections.
Yeah.
Because Ten Hag we're learning about, and these players have let us down. But like you say, it's a new world for United. You've got a coach who probably knows what he's doing more than most.
Not only that, he knows what he's doing technically, tactically, all that kind of stuff. He knows what he's doing. But I think now the players respect him so much that it makes them work harder. It makes them run. Like you saw after the game as well, when Roy Keane said he was on about after the Brentford game, they ran 10k less. So they came in on the Sunday and they had to do a 10k run, but he did it with them. And even Gary Neville said, at the time, it wasn't a popular thing. Like in Man United circles, it was like, oh, he might lose a few players doing this kind of thing. But he's been proven right. And I think doing it, and then players going, actually, yeah, we're not going to be able to slack off. We're not going to be able to just take our finger off the button for even a second. It's put Ten Hag in this position now where he's getting 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s out of every single player, performance-wise. But the amount of energy and the intensity that they're putting in, fair dues.
It makes you wonder, because obviously you've been in Premier League dressing rooms, it makes you wonder what was going wrong last year that someone like Rangnick and Ollie lost that dressing room.
Yeah.
And then this year, everybody's on board, because we know that Ronaldo had issues last year with the professionalism and the standards, and, you know, was frustrated. Yeah. And then, I mean, we'll talk about him in a minute being on the bench, but he will obviously wants to play Champions League football, but he's probably in that on that training ground now going, bloody hell, if only we'd had this last year. Yeah. And it makes you think, well, how did certain players make that dressing room fall apart last year, but this year they can't? Because I don't think it's all on the players that have gone. Actually, I was talking to somebody outside and they were saying that they watched the United stand and what you do, and they were saying that, you know, they liked it, but they were saying they were a Liverpool fan and they agree with Souness about Pogba, not because he's a bad footballer, but because Pogba never worked hard. And if you don't work hard, and you're working hard now, and that's why you're getting the results. It's simple. It's why Liverpool have had success.
You've got players like Cristiano Ronaldo, right, who he works hard, Cristiano Ronaldo, right? But I guarantee you, right, when he gets his chance now, when the next time he starts a game, he will run harder and faster and more intense than what he's done probably for the best part of a year or so. I guarantee it, because that's the standard now. Like, the bar's been set higher. Ten Hag has come in and gone, no, you need to be giving me everything you've got. And if it's 60 minutes and you're tired, I'll bring you off. Cool, run yourself into the ground, right? Yeah. That's what I want from you. Everybody, though, gives me exactly what they've got, and then we can make 5 subs. I'll make 5 subs, it's cool. And I guarantee you, Cristiano Ronaldo, next time he starts, his work rate will be off the chart.
Well, you could see it yesterday, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And you could see the frustration.
Did you see when he came on? And the one where he, oh my, I'm still watching thinking, he's 38 years old, 39, 38, and the height that he jumped, right? I'm thinking, if I'm a goalie and I'm coming out to try and take that, I'll be thinking, this is my ball easy. And then obviously you'll see a Ronaldo head in line with your hands. It's incredible. He's still an athlete, he is. He
was desperate to score.
I know.
Absolutely. There was a couple of, I think Bruno had one cross that he should have made. Yeah. Fred made another pass. And they got it wrong, and I think he was kicking air. He was so frustrated, but then he was turning around and clapping them because he just wants that goal.
But he looks like, because the team are doing well and winning and they're working hard for it as well, it's so much easier to get on board with that, honestly. When, like I say, there's a few players at left end of last season that I don't know for a fact, but you can just sort of tell that when the chips are down and you're losing games, that's where you start get one person has a bad attitude, which becomes 2. The 2 becomes 4, and it's like bacteria, it just spreads throughout the team. Whereas when it's going well and everyone's working hard, everyone wants a piece of that. Everyone wants to be a part of it.
Well, people said, didn't they? Oh, Ten Hag's bringing in all these players. There was a bit of arrogance from certain aspects of the media saying, oh, you know, he's going for that player because he's from the Dutch league.
Yeah.
But you've got Malacia, Martinez, Antony, Eriksson, and obviously Donny van der Beek. That's 5 players in your squad straight away who you know are going to do what you want, and then. You know, that's a very strong core to build off from the start, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
it is.
I mean, I'm sure there are bad elements still in that dressing room, but they're either on the bench or they're
You're not hearing many stories of it now, are you? That's the difference now. You're not hearing all the... It's like this, you don't want the circus. You just want business. You want people coming in, training their socks off, and then doing it on a Saturday afternoon. That seems like it's kind of edging that way again, which is the Man United way, which has to be the way Man United runs.
So what do you think about United now? We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. It's not... Nobody knows, but 4 wins in a row, 3 points off the top. What do you think about Manchester United? Because that's what United fans are thinking about this week. It's like it's exciting, it's busy,
it is.
But I know what I think, but what do you think about United? What's their season now?
Well, you asked me last week, you said, do you think Man United can get top 4? And I said, do you know what? Maybe. I said maybe. If you'd have asked me it a few weeks back, no chance, it's not happening. Miles off it. But genuinely, I think they've got to get top 4 this season. They have to get top 4 this season. I think the standard in the Premier League in general this year, people say it's not as good as it. I think it is. I think the general standard's better. It's just that maybe
every game's difficult.
Yeah, every game is difficult. Like if you look at next week's Premier League fixtures, I guarantee you will struggle to get 3 or 4 or 5 right out of all 10 fixtures. They are so hard and so complicated, so tough. Even the results that we've seen so far this season, you can never predict anything, honestly. But if you've got the work rate that Man United have got at the minute, work rate for me is one of the biggest things. Intensity and just putting it in every single game. That will win you more games than not. And Man United have got that as well at the minute, accompanying with a lot of ability and a lot of technical and the flair players, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think top 4 this season's, and I was going to say a no-brainer, but it's got to be a realistic possibility now.
Yeah, and I think we'd take that. And as well, Spurs' work rate's good, Arsenal's work rate's good, Man City's
Everybody's
good.
is.
Liverpool
it's got to
can be. Chelsea probably will get better. So I think it's definitely interesting to see how it's going to build out.
But not only is that though as well, as a fan, if you see your players and your team getting behind everything and shutting down and tackling and smashing. Like, let's say there'll be people out there who don't like Scott McTominay, but you watch him on a Saturday and he gives you everything, doesn't he? He will work tirelessly. He'll give you absolutely everything he's got. And there's something where you go, fair dues to him.
Oh yeah,
do you know what I mean? Fair dues to him. I'll get behind that all day long.
Yeah, and he's improved as a player. I mean, I think Delot, McTominay are 2 players that have improved massively with coaching, and many people predicted that might happen because they've not been coached for 3 years.
Yeah, sure.
McTominay had this infuriating thing of getting the ball in the midfield, doing like a bunny hop, looking both ways, and then passing it backwards. And it's like, if you watch him now, instead of an average possession period of 3 seconds on the ball, he's pinging it straight away, and his game, surprise, surprise, is massively better. I think Delot is so better as well. But Anthony's going to play on the right.
Yeah.
Going forward, you do end up having your number 1 front 3. Martial's obviously in the equation as well.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's in the equation. Rashford's doing well, although most of his goals have come from the left. Yeah. Sancho's in the equation. What do you think is Manchester United's best front 3? It might not be what Ten Hag goes for. I still think it's Antony.
Anthony's got to be,
Ronaldo,
so it's got to be Antony.
And I still think Sancho, but I'd probably put Rashford on form at the moment.
I'd put Rashford ahead of Sancho. I like Sancho, and he's scored.
He's got to do a bit more, hasn't he?
Yeah, he scored a couple of very important goals, but I think he has. I agree with you. He's got to do more. He's got to work harder as well. He has to, because he's still sometimes he's got that sort of lazy look about him sometimes. You know, when he lays a ball off or he does a pass, it's almost like he thinks that's his work done. You've still got to back it up. You've got to get up behind it and be that guy who you might arrive late into the penalty box or something and score a goal there from that kind of thing. And I still think he needs to do that, whereas I think Rashford might not have the ability of Jadon Sancho, but he's got more work rate and he's got that intensity a bit more, that naturalness to want to get in the box and score goals. I was so delighted for him scoring a couple of goals yesterday, though, because that's his game, though. He's not going to be able to get the ball, take players on, and like rifle one into the top corner. But what he will do is he'll play on shoulders, and if they leave a bit of space or they push up high, it's game over. It's the trouble, that is.
I think it's really exciting because I think United at the moment, I mean, possession again, Arsenal had more of it, Leicester had more of it, Liverpool had more of it, and Ten Hag is a high possession, high line, chance creation. We're not playing like that at the moment, and I think as United evolve to that, Sancho becomes more suitable for that, and Rashford becomes less suitable to that. So the options that we've got to have a player that can get in behind and have a player who's happy to, play around the edge of the box. And what about the midfield? Do you still think Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno and McTominay goes to the bench?
Yes, I do, for sure. Casemiro, like I say, it's just a matter of time, personally. To be perfectly honest, it's a matter of time. Just for what the experience and he will raise the level of everybody else. The level's been raised like crazy, but I still think when you've got that guy in central midfield, people look around and go, I can trust that. I know it. The defenders can see him and go, I can trust him because he's going to get back and help us. And that's what he brings, and it will only be a matter of time. Every time he's come on so far as well, he just looks the real deal. He's so calm, so collected, and I think he settles them down. So there's no surprise that when he's been brought on, Man United haven't conceded a goal yet because he's been brought on to settle. Like, it's been 1-0 against Leicester, 1-0 against, who was the other team? They beat Southampton when he came on, and then they were 2-1 or 3-1 up the other day when they came on, and he just settles everything down because he's happy to get the ball, take his time, calm, and then lay it off. Not panicking, not rushing, not just clearing stuff, nice and calm.
See, I'm going to stick with McTominay over Casemiro.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not really. I'm not really. I think he's done a great job, and actually, it's a squad game, and he will get plenty of football. But yeah, it's unfortunate for McTominay that he's playing his best football after 3 years of not playing good football. But you've got Casemiro on the bench, and it's like having a Ferrari in the garage and a Vauxhall Astra.
Exactly.
What are you going to go to work in? You're going to go in the Ferrari, aren't you?
Wow, yeah.
Maybe not today. Maybe not in these days with petrol prices.
But you know what I liked as well though on Saturday yesterday when Anthony scored the goal and Ronaldo, the camera pans to Ronaldo and he stood up and he's applauding it, and you see he looks happier, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's been all this circus about wanting to leave and he's unhappy and he's a divisive figure in that. But seeing that, I think it's a nice thing. It says to me that things are a bit better now behind the scenes than what they were.
Plus, we've got Europa League on Thursday, so a lot of these players, the Maguires, the Ronaldos, the Casemiros, it's a great chance to start and take your opportunity against Sociedad. It's a good thing.
Can you imagine being Sociedad turning up and you're going, Man United might put out a bit of the B team today, and then Ronaldo starting, Casemiro starting, these guys, it's like, wow, what chance you got?
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ben, for coming on.
Pleasure as always.
Regular now on the channel.
Regular. We're going to do this every week, yeah?
Every week, yeah.
Love that, mate. I love it.
To it, yeah. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. And also check out the Football Fill-In on Ben's channel, also out on Friday.
Cycling GK
Mondays.
comes out every Monday, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. it comes out. We basically chat rubbish about what's just happened at the weekend, don't we? It's a doddle. It's really nice.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, pal. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Speak to you all in a bit.